Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is episode number 87 and my name is Natasha. For those of you that are new around here, I do my utmost to post every week, but sometimes I just, for whatever reason, can't. I do lead quite a hectic life, so it's a case just lately, the last few months, of spotting me and catching me where you can. But anyway, I will be back to doing 3 days, 3 videos a week, like I always used to at some point, but it's just so hectic, I just can't manage that at the moment. So what have I been doing? Not a very lot. What I've been doing literally is only in this small basket this week because I've had hardly any time and I've been so tired. But I do have some new patterns from Yarnspirations to show you, just because I have been looking myself now that Christmas is coming, just to find some small bits that won't take very long that I'm going to try and get done in the future, in the next few weeks anyway. And I've also got one for a mosaic placemat, which is quite straightforward, but just for those of you that have actually thought about wanting to try it. I know that I've got the bug a little bit because I've seen lots of things. There's a lovely blanket that someone has been sending in to Sally over at Nanny Moon's Crochet. Good morning, Sally. And of course, with that, you know, it's kind of made me think I would really like to do it, but I've never tried it and I don't know how it will work. And so I've printed off one of those just as something straightforward. And of course it's a free pattern, so that's fine. It's currently Sunday, but you're seeing this on the Monday morning as usual, because I do my episode videos on a Monday morning. And I usually upload them ready for 8 o'clock when I'm already at work, so it gives you something to watch whilst I am working. And so I will show you those, and that's really it. Today I would normally have a full day of crochet, but we are going to my brother's for Sunday lunch, so I'm doing this in the morning on the Sunday rather than the Sunday evening, which is why I haven't got a lot to show, because usually Sundays I'm kind of full pelt and getting things ready for the Sunday evening to be able to show you. But never mind, it's just one of those weeks and we just got to kind of go with the flow, because, you know, life happens, doesn't it? I would say life gets in the way, but of course life doesn't get in the way. And I will be taking crochet up. My brother lives an hour and a half away in Weston-super-Mare. And so I will be taking stuff to do on the travel up, so then it can add to it for next time I do a video and show you. But anyway, let's crack on, shall we? I've got progress on my green tip-to-tip shawl. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK in the colourway Green Gauge, and I'm using a 5mm hook. Sorry, I was looking down then because I've got it written down to make sure I get it right. And for this week, I've managed to do 11 more rows. And so I'm very excited, because that means to say that I've got 23 rows left before the decrease happens. And I am loving it. It's so good just to sit in a chair with it. And as long as you increase on the first stitch and then go right the way across, you know, and then do exactly the same again when you turn and then do it. And oh, it's so good. And of course, it's a free pattern. I did put the description box, put it in the description box when I first started it on the first week. And I'll do so again. It's a Hobbycraft pattern. No, it's not a Hobbycraft pattern. What am I talking about? It's a Hobie pattern that's free, and I have listed it in my free patterns. I've showed it on my free pattern Fridays when I did that series a while ago now. So do go ahead and have a look to see if there is any free patterns that you haven't discovered yet, because I did about 6 or 8 months of that, and so there is quite a few. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that, and you know, the ball started off as a brand new one, and now I've hardly got anything left, so that's really good to be able to use up. And then the other thing I've just been working on is my cal, my own cal, which is the Random Grannies, and there's a hashtag for that, which is hashtag Random Granny Cal 2025. And I've managed to do the green corners, and they worked out quite well actually, because I'm using a multicoloured ball. This is Aurora from James C. Brett, and the colourway is only numbers. I think it's AU06, something like that. But yeah, so it's going and going, and it just kind of does it by itself, and I quite like the randomness, and it works out quite well actually. You know, it's not too sporadic. It's just the white bits that annoy me, which if you've watched my other videos, I've been moaning about that before, but we won't moan again. But I do like the way that it just kind of variegates its way into the different colours, and it looks quite effective. So I've got 3 of these halves, which means I've got 2 left to do, and the corners I've done, so that's fine. So I've got 2 more in this colourway, and then in this colourway I've got just 4 halves, so 4 that size left to do, but I just haven't managed to get round to it. And the other thing is that I have run out of this one, and I've literally only got a tiny bit, which I've left on the arm of my chair in the front room, but I've literally only got a tiny bit left. So instead, I've kind of teamed up the closest colour to it, and I've got a yellow and a light green, which you can see quite a bit of there on that row. So I thought I would just do 2 more like this. So it'll look a bit like that, I'm assuming, without the white, because it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's the randomness of it, and that's fine. I do have a whole ball of this one upstairs, but I chose not to use it because it is a whole ball, and I won't be able to get a shawl or something out of it without, you know, and if I break into it and only use X amount, then it just means, one, that I've got another one that I've started, you know, and I don't really want to do that, because I want to be able to kind of just use up what I've got, you know, without breaking into new balls of wool. So I'm just gonna do it. I know this one is a new ball of wool, but I have taken stuff from this one underneath, and I've just put the ball band back on, so it's not strictly a whole band, but it was the closest colour I could get to be similar but not exact, and I quite like that. I mean, I could have added a blue, you know, and then kind of done it in 3, but I'm not sure about that, and I don't know whether I've got a colour that is exact, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, so I've got 2 more to do like that, and then I'm done. So I will be pretty much done, and then I'll be piecing it together. So hopefully this week I will be able to do it and get it pieced together. I'm not sure whether to follow the joining or from what the pattern says. This is my cal that I have started, which is a free pattern from Yarnspirations, and it is called the Granny Goes Random Crochet Blanket. They use Super Saver Bitty Stripes, but obviously I don't have any. Well, it's not obvious, I suppose, but no, I don't have that because I don't have any Red Heart yarn. So I was just kind of making it how I knew how, with the colours that I had, and I just wanted to. I was desperate to use up this because it's been in my stash for about 5 years now, and so I just kind of wanted to get it over and done with and used. But yes, so it means that I'll be putting it together, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to use the way that they say in the pattern, because I'm not sure. I want to try out different things, because I'm one of these that usually do a pattern so that or a blanket so that it's just kind of all in one. I've never kind of done it where you have squares that I have to sew together or crochet together, until I did the Nature's Walk blanket. And I've quite liked doing that, as much as I haven't picked it up for a couple of weeks now because I've been so busy. I do like the way it joins, so I might well do that instead. I just don't know. But I'm going to, once I've done the 4 of those and the 2 of those, I will be piecing it together and then finishing it. So, but I don't want to start putting it together until they're all completed. So that's fine. So that is all that I have actually managed to do so far, crochet wise, but that's fine, because at least I've managed some, isn't it? Because I always need to, I almost feel under pressure to be able to kind of do something so that I can come back on. And it's a weird feeling, but it's just one of those things, and that's how I'm feeling at the moment, but it's fine. It gives me a reason to come on, so that's absolutely what we're all about. And so now I've got a pile of Yarnspiration patterns to show you. And so let's have a look to see what is here. The first one, like I said, touched on just now, this is using sugar and cream cotton, Lily sugar and cream cotton, but and obviously for placemats I suppose you would need to make good use of them, but just for the pure practice of mosaic crochet, you can use anything just as a practice piece, but I quite liked it because it gives you the exact just for a small piece, even a placemat, not a placemat, like a mug mat or something like that would be even smaller, but I quite like the fact that you only have to do it that length. It doesn't matter what you use, just for the practice of mosaic, and I think that would be absolutely fine. But the measurements are 12.5 inches by 18 inches, and the notes say that when working the double crochets in rows, 3 rows below, you work in the front of the chain 2 space, not around. And then you skip the single crochet and do chain 2 and work above for the chain 2 rows. So it sounds confusing, doesn't it? But I suppose once you read it and read it again, it might be fine. For the placemat, you chain 59. So again, it's not a lot to be in a row, so it should work up quite quickly. And the setup rows are a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and single crochet in each stitch to the end of the chain, and then turn. And then for the next row, it's a single crochet in each single crochet across, and then the zigzag pattern starts. So that has been working up quite well, and it's only 2 pages as well, and it gives you the chart to be able to follow the chart if that's what you would rather. And I think actually that might well make sense more so than trying to read the written. So I'm going to leave it there, and if you do fancy it, then you can go along and have a look. Then I found something that was quite lovely, and of course I'm making an emotional chicken, but sticking with the chicken theme, I found a chicken bag, and I think this would be lovely for any child or any chicken lover, in fact, you know, alike, to be able to kind of just have something, even for to make socks, you know, have a little project bag like that. I think that would be really, really lovely. And so this is, they use Red Heart Super Saver, but of course it doesn't matter. And you need soft white, cherry red and saffron for the beak, just a tiny little bit. So if you've got any scraps, it would be fine. They're using a 5mm hook. I love Susan Bates hooks, and this is what this suggests, but you can use your favourite hook and that doesn't matter either. Need a small amount of black for the eye embroidery and a button for the flap of the bag. But yeah, it's just really lovely. And again, there's a little chart there for you to be following if you don't want to read the description, the written instructions. And it says that the chain 3 at the beginning of the row counts as the first double crochet, and you make 2 sides, and it's all straightforward, and it measures 10 inches or 25.5 centimeters. It's 8 inches wide and 2 inches tall, 2 inches high. Must be, it looks quite a big bag, but if it's only 2 inches high, I can't see that it will be. But anyway, the gauge is 13 double crochets and 8 rows to make 4 inches. And it's got, I think it's got a lovely bag strap as well there. So yeah, that's why I thought it would be quite cool, especially with Christmas coming. So I printed that one off to show you. Another thing that I found that I thought might be really quite cool is for the croc lovers. And this is a crocheted croc band cover. And you can either wear them in the front or in the back. But I thought that would be quite cool, just to have a little bit of crochet on your shoes. And they're using the Cinnamon Swirl Cakes by Caron in the colourway Beach Towel, but of course you can use anything. And any yarn you've got. I mean, this is an Aran yarn that they're using because it's a medium 4-weight yarn. The skill level is easy and you only need the 1 ball. And the yardage is based on the adult size crocs. But of course you can do it for little ones as well, and I think they would love it even more. And it's customizable to fit any croc band. And as long as you can do single crochet and single crochet in the back loops, I think you're absolutely fine, to be honest. To finish, you fold the band cover lengthways around the croc band with a yarn needle and a long tail. Sew in the sides of the band cover to encase the croc band itself. So there we are. I thought that was quite fun. And now, dare I say it, even though Halloween hasn't been yet, I've got some Christmas ones, because I know that Christmas obviously takes so long to prepare, doesn't it? And it might take a while to do some decorations, but I have got this Merry Christmas garland, and you crochet all the letters, and I just think it's really, really quite clever. And so I thought, just in case you hadn't seen it, that I would show it here. But they're using Caron Simply Soft, but again, anything you've got, then you can carry on and use it. I think I'd quite like to use the Yarn Art jeans for this because they won't get so fluffy. And I do think that that would work quite well. Each letter is approximately 5.5 inches tall, but of course that is if you're using the Aran weight. But so it would work up smaller if you're using something smaller than that. and then a 4mm hook, and then they have got diagrams. I've only printed off the first 2 pages, but that's fine. And of course then you've got the chart, and I think that's really it. They're saying to use a foundation single crochet, and they've got some little like step-by-step things to be able to show you how to do that. But yeah, so I thought that would be quite cool to do a garland if that's what you did so want to do. And the rest of them, I was looking for some little tiny ornaments to be able to make that work up quite cool, you know, to give as little gifts for people's Christmas trees. And of course, we can't have a, we can't go without having a gingerbread fella. And it's called a ginger fella. Crochet ginger fella is using Aran, but of course if you're using DK it'll just work up a little bit smaller. And they're approximately 5 inches tall, and using a 4.5mm hook. But of course, you know, whatever yarn you're using, you can just gauge it with the hook of your choice to whatever you're using. It goes straight into the pattern pretty much, but the instructions note, so do not join at the end of the round. Work in a spiral in continuous rounds and move the marker to the first stitch at the beginning of the round. When changing colours, work the last 2 hoops on the hook, draw the new colour in, and then finish it off. So it's quite easy. And they suggest to use a magic ring to start off with. So there is the ginger fella. So cute, can't wait. Again, I personally would use Yarn Art Jeans, I think, for that, because it stays a bit more rigid and a bit more solid, but it's personal preference at the end of the day. Now we have a crochet Mary Berry. I love this little bear, he's so cute. And again, same sort of thing, works up at 5 inches. It is a collection of the little things, so they are pretty much all the same. You just got to kind of put the different heads on and things really, but they're all the same size. So there is a ginger Mary Berry, and then we've got a Pedro the penguin. He's cute too, isn't he? Again, 5 inches tall, but that's if you're using the 4-weight yarn. It will work up a bit smaller if you're using a bit less, but yeah. Just go along, have a look at the pattern yourself, that'll be fine. And then, of course, this one I did think was quite fun. Not sure whether I would do it because I am a fan of my tree being just as I like it. No one gets to touch my tree, and no one decorates it because it is my job and I put it up, but still, I found this. Isn't that just fabulous? If I had a second tree, maybe I would actually, because you don't need to have lights on or anything then, do you? But this is a Let It Granny Christmas tree to crochet, and it basically means that it's pretty much a blanket, and I'm assuming it's got a hole at the top, so that you can still have your star or whatever it is that you want at the top of your tree, and then it just drapes down. But isn't that cool? It would just be so fun to do, and so I thought I would print that out and show you. And these patterns only came out. This one was the 20th of September. And the other Christmas ones were the 1st of October. They've all got the little symbol that says new on it, all of these patterns. So it is new to Yarnspirations. So go and have a look and see. But this is to fit a 4-foot tall tree, and is approximately 48 inches tall and 48 inches tall and 40 inches in diameter. and it says one ball makes 36 motifs. They're using the Red Heart All-in-One Granny Square Petite, in contrast Foxy and Snazzy, but of course just use up your yarn that you've got left, and don't worry about it, that's what I'd say. And then of course they're also using the All-in-One Granny Square in Soft White Citrus Twist, Aran Lily Pad, Soft White Hot Stuff, and the All-in-One Granny Square Grande, which for the All-in-One Granny Square, one ball makes 14, and then in the Granny Square Grande, one ball makes 4. So that's quite interesting for any of you that are able to use the All-in-One Granny Square yarn that the Yarnspirations have brought out. But I would just purely do it to use up bits of yarn. That would just be so cool. Anyway, so that is that. I'm all about granny squares just lately, but I just jumped on the bandwagon because they're so easy and they're so lovely to make, that's the reason why I chose it. And yeah, so that is that. I've rushed a little bit there just because of the fact that I need to kind of go and get ready to go out, because I can hear everyone else in my hallway just kind of trying to get ready themselves. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I didn't have a lot to show you, but it's always nice to see what new patterns are coming on different websites, so I thought I would add that just to give you a bit more content. So thank you, and I will see you again very soon. Bye, my lovelies. Bye.